Today I'll be sharing some thrift flips with you. My name is Leah and this is JunkerNecker DIY, where I bring you new budget decor videos every week. Here on my channel you'll find things like thrift flips, as I'm doing today, but you'll also see Dollar Tree DIYs, trash to treasure projects, and I will occasionally share my shopping hauls with you. If these things interest you, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you. Project number 1. I found this at Goodwill for 99 cents. It's a beautiful ceramic caramel apple, and it just needed a stick. So I'm using one of these dowels from Dollar Tree that came in a 12-pack, and it fit perfectly. But I do want to add a little dab of glue because I have some cats that tend to be mischievous at times. I want to make sure that the stick stayed in place. Now you could do this with any faux fruit, any faux apple you may have, or a real apple, because what I'm doing to make it a poison apple is just adding a tag. I'm using a chalkboard tag from Dollar Tree in this beautiful neon green chalk writer, and I'm going to write out poison apple, and that's it. Today's video is part of the Third Thursday Thrift Flips playlist that's hosted every month by Tammy of the Rusted Willow and Elizabeth from Southern GMORE Gals. I'll be leaving links to both their channels as well as a link for the playlist in the descriptions below, so be sure to check those out. This Halloween I've been setting up a witch's apothecary station with Granny Frump in mind from the Addams family. And project number 2, I'm going to use this wooden box that I thrifted for $1. And this hand that my sister thrifted for me and sent this way. And I'm going to be using some acrylic paint in the color Latte because the hand was a bit too peachy. It just didn't look realistic at all. And if I'm going to make Thing to go on my coffee bar / apothecary station, I want him to look real. So I just put one coat over the entire hand and then set it aside to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to work on this box. I've made this Beware of the Thing sign with the Fonto app. And I'm going to cut that out and decoupage it right on the front. I'm using these zigzaggy scissors. They're kind of like pinking shears. I just wanted a uneven, raggedy, if you will, edge on the label. And then when I put it on, usually with Mod Podge, you want a thin, even layer. I wanted a thick layer so it would crinkle and wrinkle up. And I am using the matte Mod Podge here. You'll see how heavy I went right there with the brush and stuck it on. And then I'm just going to use the excess that's left in the brush to go all over the top as well. To clean up any excess around the edges, I used a damp paper towel and wiped that down, and then followed it with a dry paper towel and dabbed around. And now that it's dry, I'm going to use some folk art antique wax, and I'm going all the way around the edges here. I'm trying not to get it on the wood because I do use this box in decor quite often, maybe with flowers or leaves or something else in it. Anyway, I digress. Once I got the antique wax all the way around, then I started distributing it over the entire decal and that really brought out all the wrinkling that I was talking about earlier and gave it a monstrous appearance. Now it's time for Thing to go home. I'm going to put some hot glue right there on the bottom of the hand and stick him in the middle of the box. One more thing to do. Thing would always put himself away and pull the handle of the trap door down on himself. So I'm going to use this wood bead and put it right in the middle of the lid. And once it's up against Thing's hand, you can't tell that it's a bead at all. Now can you? Looks just like a handle. And I think this turned out fantastic. Now for project number 3, I'm using an old ginger jar that I thrifted. I got that on a half price day for $1, and someone had already spray painted it black, so it goes right along with my theme. I went to that Fonto app again and created another decal, and I'm going to be cutting it out with some rickety looking edged scissors and decoupaging that onto the jar. But since the jar is shiny, I'm going to use Gloss Mod Podge this time. For the lid, I'm going to put this black. I spray painted it black. It was an old yellowy gray color from Dollar Tree. I'm going to put it on the lid to make it more creepy because the sign that I'm putting on here says, "Nightmares. Use extreme caution when opening." It's best not to even open it at all, really. Once that label dried, I do come back with some of the antique wax on it as well. To get the skull on the lid, I just poked a hole in the bottom there with my scissors, stuck it onto the finial on top of that lid, and that's all there was to it. Now, to add just a little bit more creep factor, I'm going to use some of this creepy cloth and some spray adhesive from Dollar Tree. Now, I have not worked with the creepy cloth before, and I really didn't know what to expect. Also, it's my first time, possibly my last time, using the spray adhesive. If I had this to do over, I would definitely use Mod Podge instead. And you'll see why in just a moment. I wanted to make sure that I had this thin enough that the detail of the skull would still show. Otherwise, it just looks like a blob or a pillow sitting on top of my ginger jar. But right here, you'll see the spray adhesive is very watery. And I kept trying to push into those eye sockets and around the jawline to give the detail of the skull the way I wanted, but yeah, it was really difficult to get that out. I also put Mod Podge on the top of that. It kind of looks like screaming, creepy something, so it wasn't a total loss. Now this is project number 4. I thrifted these bottles. The square one I picked up for 59 cents. The purple heart shaped I picked up on half price day, so I got that for only $1. And I'm going to put some labels on these. Now the one that says Hocus Pocus, I made that on the same Fonto app. And the Love Potion is actually a free printable that I got from the website Primcats. Now you can do this with any size or shape bottle that you already have at home. If you want to set up a apothecary station, so to speak, grab a water bottle, an empty pickle jar, whatever you have, and go to the printer and print you out some labels. I'm using the Gloss Mod Podge again. And there's that website, Primcats. And now it's time to embellish. I'm going to use this tassel that I took off an old project. And it was kind of giving me creepy voodoo doll vibes. Maybe a voodoo doll in a dress. So, I took a red marker, popped on 2 eyes, and sketched a little mouth. And now we have our little girly voodoo doll. I put some hot glue on the neck of the bottle and stuck it down kind of sideways. Then for the stopper, I used one of these Dollar Tree pumpkins that has the clip on the back. I removed the clip, glued it on like so. I thought it gave it a little more interest rather than gluing it on its bottom on top of the jug, jar, whatever, to glue it on its side. And there is that. For the love potion jar, I got some raffia, or some people say raffia, whatever you want to call it. And I just went around and around the neck of that bottle and tied it in a knot. Then for the stopper, I'm going to use this ink pen that has a heart on the top. I'm not gluing it down, I just dropped it down into the bottle and it worked out great. And there's a close-up of that Primcat free printable. Now, more jars. And like I said before, you could do this with any jars you already have at home. That's one that I picked up at Goodwill for 50 cents. And I'm just going to put some of this reindeer moss in the bottom, some that I had left over in a pack. I'm going to stuff that down, and then I'm going to come in with some of the cute mushrooms from Dollar Tree. At first I thought I would paint them, but as I was looking online at different kinds of mushrooms to get a color in mind, it showed that those natural colored mushrooms were actually poisonous, so I just went with that. A little bit of twine around the center, and there's the poison mushrooms. I really like how this turned out. Now for a larger jar. This one I either paid 50 cents or $1 for because it was half price day, and I actually had 2 stickers on it, so I don't know which they charged me. But I'm filling it up with the glitter bats from Dollar Tree, and since it's kind of hard to see what they were, I put the sign Fresh Bats on there. This is a container that I picked up at Dollar General on clearance for 45 cents, and I'm going to store my cat's catnip in there. I'm going to write on a cardboard label, catnip, cut it off to be shorter, and tie it on with twine. Now here's the reveal of my entire coffee bar for your pleasure. It was actually my pleasure creating it, but I hope you enjoy it too. That's all from me today. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching my video. If you liked it, let me know by leaving me a thumbs up. And remember to go check out the Thrift Flip playlist. There'll be lots of inspiration there for you. Until next time, bye-bye.